Hi, it's Dia. Today I'm reviewing Prismacolor Premier Pencils. I finally received them last week and I couldn't wait to review them. I've heard wonderful and terrible things about these pencils. They are buttery, they're creamy, they have colors that are brighter than any other set, and they crack just pretty much by looking at them, and sharpening is a nightmare. So I didn't know what to expect. I chose these crystals that I'm coloring right now, specifically from my up-and-coming coloring book, so I could really use a variety of colors. And you could see the colors in a large area. And we could clearly see the depth, the tone, and get a real feel for the quality of these pencils. I will list the colors that I'm using below, and I'll do a real-time video if you would like me to. Just comment below if that's something you would want to see. So far, I've used the colors pink, violet, and Parma violet. And I didn't know it at the time, but Parma violet will become a very big part of this picture and probably one of the nicest colors that I've ever seen in any set. So first impression, the colors are super clear. They're bright, they're vibrant, and they're highly pigmented. There are lovely pastels and neons that I haven't found in some of my other big sets. Now, right here, I goofed. I was thinking that this color was going to be a little bit softer. I don't know why, because based on the barrel, it's pretty bright, and that's exactly what I got. This color is cobalt blue hue, and I hesitated in the beginning, and then I said, you know what, just leave it, and I'll go over it again and see what I can do with it. And I thought it might be a good trial to see how they actually blend. Now, this color also became one of my favorite colors ever. This is light aqua, and yes, it looks beautiful. You know, even the barrel looks pretty, but this color, once again, I don't think I've ever seen it in another set. So I'm really enjoying these pencils at this point. Here's another one. This one is chartreuse, and yes, I have seen similar colors. Polychromos has a color that's probably close. And I think it's their light green. But this one's a little more alien, a little more chartreusey. And now I'm adding a very light pink, which is Deco Pink, to the bottom of that green area. I wanted the crystal to look like it was, you know, sort of highlighting in the reflections of the sun. And like I said, they're very creamy, like I've been hearing. And being softer than Polychromos pencils, I'm noticing that they don't hold a sharp point as long. And at this point, there isn't a problem. But later on, I'm going to be coloring little tiny bunnies. And we're going to be needing some finer detail. So I'm going to see about if the sharp point is going to be an issue or not. Now I'm going over that mistake area with that Parma purple. I'm sorry, is it Parma purple? Parma violet. And although it looks like I'm skipping around here, there's usually a method to my madness. The bottom of this picture, although I don't know if you can see it yet, has some grass and a little open area with a bunny in it and another bunny hiding behind one of the crystals. So what I do is fill in certain areas first and then go over other areas that have finer detail involved in them. In this area, meaning there's blades of grass that are in front of the crystal, and sometimes I do the background or the foreground first. But I think I was a little excited here and I couldn't wait to get to those colors. So I'm putting in that grassy detail here. I used the chartreuse, and I'm also going to go in with apple green and parrot green, and then go back in with different shades of lavender. And this happens to be lavender that I'm using now. And then I'm going to add hot pink to the other side of that face of the crystal. When I was first using the greens for this grassy area, I thought I was limited to about 5 colors because they were in a tray with the lighter blues. And it wasn't until I lifted that tray up a little bit later and saw there was about 10 more greens in there. So I was going to initially say, oh, there's not enough greens in this Prismacolor set, but I will definitely take that thought back. There's everything from the lightest green, which is, it's called Sap Green Light, to very dark, like forest green, which is dark green. And then, of course, they go into the peacock greens and teals. They're actually very beautiful. I can also say the purples that I've used for this image are lovely. They go from almost like a light grayish lilac to a very dark and shadowy purple, which is dioxazine purple hue. I used that a little bit later on at the very tip of the top of the crystal on the left.
I was very happy to see that this set comes with neon colors like neon pink and neon yellow, because I developed an appreciation for these neon colors when I was using the Hero set of 168 colored pencils. Light aqua, which I'm using right here, in my opinion, will go really nicely with some of those neon colors. I also want to say that this set also has metallics. There's gold and silver and a really wonderful array of grays, which are named in a way that I really appreciate. There are 6 cool grays, 6 warm grays, and 6 French grays, and they're named by percentage. So there's cool gray 10%, which is very light, and it goes all the way up to cool gray 90%, and then there's 4 colors in between. And the cool, warm, and French are all labeled this way. I like the way they're housed. They come in 6 relatively stable trays, and the trays are housed within a box that has a magnetic closure in the front. It's sturdy, it's neat, and it's a nice way to store your pencils if you're not a person that has them in a container other than the box that they come from. Now we're getting to another area in the picture where I had to be concerned about the sharpness of the point of the pencil. There's a little tiny bunny at the bottom of this very dark purple area. That was actually Parma Violet again. And in the middle of it, I had to stop and I had to sharpen it. Not a big deal, but just something to be aware of. For super little teeny weeny detail, these might not be the best pencils, but they're not bad. And now I'm also at the point in the picture where I'm going over certain areas and I'm adding more layers. Now at this point, I hadn't really burnished anything. I hadn't really pushed very hard. And I wasn't really familiar with these pencils, and I'm still not familiar with these pencils, so this is going to be a learning curve for me. Now in that little area that I'm doing right now with the color lavender, I did push pretty hard because I knew that I wasn't going to go over it with many other colors, and I figured it was safe to do that. Now here I took the white and I decided I'm going to go over everything because I have to blend anyway. So let's see where this is going to take us, because that was the other thing that I had heard about Prismacolor pencils, the dreaded wax bloom. Now I didn't know what to think about that. because I think any pencil, no matter what, even an oil-based pencil, does something similar to that. It gets to the point where if you put enough layers down, it's harder to put a color over it, especially if it's a lighter color. I find that you can put black or a very dark color over almost anything. So back to the picture. Here I am going over everything with the white. They blended really well. It's a shame that I can't get very, very close because I can't focus close enough, but you can tell that it goes from, slightly gritty looking because of the texture of the paper to that magical moment where you burnish it and it's smooth and it's a little bit shiny and it's gorgeous. Now I saved this area for last because I wanted there to appear to be a reflection on this surface of the crystal. So I chose a very light pink, and it's called Deco Pink. And I chose some light colors on purpose because I wanted to see what they would do. Meaning some light colors in certain sets, it almost feels like there's no pigment and there's a lot of filler, and you have to use a lot of layers and a lot of force to get that color. But these pencils don't have that issue. Even the lighter colors do have a lot of pigment. I really like this set. Now I'm jumping over to the grass and the greenery. And this was the first area that I could see that it might be a little bit tough to put layer after layer and then expect there to be the ability to put more layers on top. That being said, the greens are lush, realistic, and I don't feel like I would have a problem creating or recreating any type of plant or grass with this set. This was also the first time I found myself wanting to grab possibly a polychromos pencil and sharpen it really, really pointy and go in there with that set, because I knew that the points would hold a bit more. And not that I didn't like this set, but once again, the polys do hold their points a bit longer. Oh, and speaking of sharpeners, I came across a really good sharpener for Prismas just this week, and I will link below a video that I did. It's called the Mitsubishi KH20, and it's great. It's a handheld crank self-feed sharpener. I got it in red. It's lovely. I didn't have a problem with one Prismacolor breaking, and I know that was one of the things that scared me, the breakage of the Prismacolors. And at this point, knock on wood, fingers crossed, I haven't had a problem. Now I'm at that point where I'm doing those little tiny bunnies at the bottom, and those grays really come in handy. The first bunny is a softer French gray, almost brownish tinted bunny. So it's really nice to have those labeled like 10%, 50%, 90%. So if you want to, you can stay within that same color category, meaning if you want to use a warm gray or a cool gray, the bunny on the right is much more of a cool gray. So for his body, I used 10%, and for his shadows, I used 70 and 50%, and I also used an antique drafting pencil that I always like to use for shadows. I used Deco Pink and then Hot Pink in their ears. And then what I normally do for highlights over colored pencils is use the Signo white gel pen. And I could not, for the life of me, get it to work over the top of these Prismacolors. Now you can see maybe slight details that I left there, but I couldn't I couldn't get it to work enough. So what I ended up using was Neopak acrylic paint with this very, very thin Princeton brush. I made some lines on the front to make it appear as if there's a flat reflective surface. And I just put some little stylized reflection dots throughout the different colors of the surfaces of the crystals. So all in all, I have to say I'm really excited about this set. I don't know why it took me so long to get it. I'm very happy that I did. There are some colors in here that I haven't seen in any other set, so I'm very excited to use it, to use all of them. And I can't wait to see what develops, because obviously I did not get a chance to use all of the colors in this set. I haven't used the reds. I haven't really used any dark blues except for that one mistake area that ended up blending beautifully. So yes, I would definitely give this set a big thumbs up. And for the breakage issue, I can see where they are delicate, but I didn't have any breakage. So just be careful. Sharpen them with a good sharpener and take care. Don't push hard unless it's worn down a bit. When I was blending, I did push pretty hard and it was fine. The white did not crack. So I hope you like this video. I hope you go out and try those Prismacolor pencils, even if you buy them open stock, one at a time. They're lovely. The colors are amazing. And I hope you follow me. And I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Thank you all once again for being here for my videos. It means so much to me. And I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.